My right, the challenger, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white trunks with red and blue trim and hailing from Clearwater, Florida. He weighed in at a trim and ready 152.6 pounds with a record of 31 wins and 1 defeat. He has 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Now, tonight's challenger is one of boxing's most acclaimed welterweight title holders. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the current world contender and the renowned former unified welterweight champion of the world, introducing Keith one-time Thurman. And his opponent across the ring, the defending world champion, fighting out of the blue corner, 6 feet 6 inches, entering the ring wearing blue trunks with white trim, and hailing from California. He weighed in at a ready 153.6 pounds. His record stands at 23 wins, 1 loss and 1 draw, with 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the sensational southpaw standout and the rising star of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former unified world champion and the current reigning and defending WBC welterweight champion of the world, known as the Towering Inferno, introducing Sebastian Fundora.
What's going on, YouTube? We are live, Hit the like button, subscribe. We are live for the Keith Thurman Fundora fight, or the Fundora Keith Thurman fight, excuse me, because Fundora is the champion, the defending WBC champion. They're already in the ring. We are live.
2023, Thurman says he's older.
We are getting ready for round one.
Wiser, but not warned. The layoffs may raise questions, but he believes they've spared him the damage of a long war-torn career. These two are...
Now, I'll be clear. I'm going for Keith Thurman because he's the underdog. But I'm looking for a Fundora to fight with his height and length and keep him away. Keith Thurman can only win by knockout. So I'm really leaning, giving the fight to Fundora. But I'm rooting for Keith Thurman. Let's go. Round 1.
Start a fight if you're Thurman, but again,
Thurman said he'd be using a lot of movement, Abner, a lot of lateral movement, sticking, going the like of a silly little.
All right, I like what Keith Thurman is doing. He's circling around the ring, keeping his distance. Round 1, testing out how far Fundora can reach, and if he can get around it, or how he can maneuver around that jab.
For that pressure and the high volume, 70.
Really good. Keith Thurman is keeping his distance and just pop shotting in and out, circling around the ring, keeping his distance further than Fundora's reach. This is what I like to see. He's just testing the waters. He's looking how he's gonna get in there later on in the fight. Let's go. So far, I'm giving Keith Thurman the first round, but we still got 1 minute and 40 seconds to go.
It's going to be interesting what type of offense Thurman will use against the
Hit the like button, subscribe.
Inside that big jab, but Thurman told us to be looking to land a gazelle punch.
Already, Keith Thurman is not comfortable with the southpaw's legs. He tripped over him already.
We've seen reach disadvantages.
11 inches. Unbelievable. That's like a foot.
It's just about, yeah. Turns out you're right.
All right, Fundora just throwing a jab, really not touching him because Keith Thurman's staying away.
A minute left here in the first round. And
they can't say much with the first round. Keith Thurman, and he's moving his head a little bit. Moving away from that jab.
If he's going to back up his words of going for the KO.
Whoa. Keith Thurman went for the headshot. Nice body shot by Fundora when he came inside. Keith Thurman got to be careful. Keith Thurman tested that length. He did an overhand right and landed it, but it wasn't flush.
We did bring that up to Keith in the fighter meeting. He shot down that narrative, said, have I ever gone
Keith
down
Thurman
from a
needs to
body
stay
shot?
out from the corners.
No.
Don't stop. Keep moving.
He's been visibly hurt.
Indeed.
Final 15 seconds of our first.
Fundora is giving him respect. The champion is giving him respect. Remember, the way I put this, man, the champion needs to be dominated. Keith Thurman trying that body shot, overhand right that got Fundora knocked out by Mendoza. That's the end of round one. I give round one to Thurman. I give it to Thurman because of the activity, the length, and the ring IQ. Others can give it to Fundora because he's been keeping that jab out. But Keith Thurman is doing what he's supposed to do with the big man right now. He's testing the waters in the first round. He's circling around, testing that jab, see if that jab could reach, overhand right. Overhand left. Overhand left because Fundora's southpaw, so he's got to throw an overhand left to land a jaw. That's what Mendoza did in the last fight. Mendoza hit him to the body and then up over the top. And he's testing it. Let's see if I can get that for you. They're showing it again. Oh, I didn't get it. My bad, chat. Let's go round two.
The bell in round number 2.
Can Keith Thurman convince Fundora to get off of his game plan, as it seems early on, to jab from the outside?
Well, it was anything but a normal round for Fundora. Usually he was 8 of 47 in that first round compared to 3 of 19 for Thurman.
Listen, Fundora got the best output for his size.
Display, but again,
nice body shot by Keith Thurman. Nice
my God, if you're blessed with that,
left hook to the body. It's a good liver shot.
Said, look, is your willingness to brawl.
It's right in front of you, so it's not like he's going, reaching for it. Most of the time he's trying to reach down and get it. Boom, it's right there.
I think it was Roy Jones Jr. who actually said that he believes in knowing many goals.
Oh, Fundora got caught with a counter right. I think he's hurt. Fundora already tapped him. Fundora has the power to knock Keith Thurman down.
He's got a great chin. He's got a great willingness, and he also has incredible stamina. Nobody works harder than the backyard gym. Military training with the.
Let me tell you.
And in the mountains, getting that altitude training.
If Keith Thurman can't get on the inside, this fight is over. And he got to get in on the inside smoothly, not get countered on the way in.
Look, if you're Keith Thurman here at 30,
he needs to lead in. He needs to lead in with slapping. He's moving in the wrong direction, by the way. Let me tell you, he's moving.
How many of those big shots?
Excuse me. He's moving in the wrong direction. Keith Thurman needs to be moving away from the power hand. There you go. Now he's doing it right now. He's doing it correctly. He's moving now. Fundora's forcing him to his power hand, which is bad for Keith Thurman. He's fighting southpaw, right? Keith Thurman needs to go on away from the straight left. He's not doing that right now. And he got caught earlier in the second round. I give this round to with about 50 seconds left of this round. I give this one for Fundora for the counter punching and the straight the straight two that he will Keith Thurman walked right into and put him off balance. Almost scored a knockdown, by the way, in the second round. Keith Thurman scared.
Patient Sebastian Fundora following Thurman around, landing the jab.
Fundora did break character after he landed that big punch early. He let out a big smoke.
Nice hook by Fundora. Again, because Keith Thurman's walking into it.
Business-like ever since.
Keith Thurman's going in the wrong direction.
It's unbelievable. But
remember, the win in my book.
Welterweight champion in history.
Nice double straight by double two by Keith Thurman, but I don't think that was enough to win the round. I don't know how some of these judges do it, but right now it's 1-1. I gave Keith Thurman. I gave Keith Thurman the first round, and the second round goes to Fundora because of the countering and the jab. The jab is starting to connect. Keith Thurman starting to slow down. He can't keep that pace. He cannot keep that pace. Keith Thurman's trying to overhand and he got caught. Let's see if they show it again. Boom. Almost fell. Almost fell. I got it for you. I got it for you. Keith Thurman needs to be careful and needs to circle away from Fundora's power hand.
Keith Thurman, who started his
you do that with any southpaw, so it's nothing new. I don't know why he's not doing it.
Who tragically passed away. The sparring Hall of Famer Winky Wright.
Round 3, we're in round 3. Fundora's already starting to establish the jab.
His craft and building a champion's path.
Let me see if I can get that punch to you.
Don't tell him he can't beat Sebastian Fundora.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, watch the feet.
He was trained for much of his pro career by Dan Birmingham, who retired, who trained so many great champions, including the Hall of Famer Winky Wright.
Yep.
I think it's time for Thurman to take his chance, or at least try to work that body. There was times where he was having success when he jumps in.
So there's the overhand right that Keith Thurman's trying to land. Again, it's not flush, but then he got countered.
Just 6 of 19.
There it is.
Off the head, off the head.
Work. There's uppercut on the inside by Fundora. Now Thurman coming on the inside and landing right to the body, but the left hand.
Again, Keith Thurman's walking right into Fundora's power hand. I don't know why he's doing it, and I don't know why the corner's not correcting him.
Right, which is into the danger zone of that left hand of Fundora.
And now the announcers are saying it.
It's definitely a no-no against his left-hander. You don't want to go towards.
When you got the announcers saying the obvious, like, you know it's bad, because these announcers that they got for PBC, they ain't never boxed a day in their life. Never even had a street fight. So if they're telling a former champion how to box, something's wrong.
By landing the big one.
And yeah, something's wrong. So far, Fundora's winning the third round. So that's bad for
Question is, can he at the age of 37? And 2 fights in 6 years.
Yeah. But at least try. I mean,
this might be Keith Thurman. If he don't knock out Fundora, this might be Keith Thurman's last round. This might be the time to retire after this. Fundora's jumping on him. Fundora's jumping on him.
That reaction of Fundora letting his hands go. But to your question, Fundora has remained poised, hasn't put himself in bad positions, and when he does that, boy, can he control rounds and control the terms of the fight.
This is what I'm telling you he's doing that he should not be doing.
Put yourself, like you mentioned,
walking into that power hand that happened in the second round. After he tried to get the
hoping to defend this title for the 3rd time. Thurman lands a left hook to
Thurman might get knocked out if he keeps doing this. Now he's lunging. He's getting tired. His legs are not working. Uh-oh. Keith Thurman's in trouble. He's looking tired.
Listen for the bell, gentlemen. Time right there. Vamos así.
My apologies. They have music in between the rounds, and those are copyrighted music. They cannot fall in my stream. It slows everything down and causes havoc with the stream. YouTube, I always say this, YouTube has the largest library of music that they've been playing for years through Venmo. And if a snippet of music comes on your stream, they start slowing down the stream and doing all kinds of craziness. So my apologies for slowing it down. Fundora won round 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. I gave Thurman the first round. Fundora wasn't doing much. He didn't do much. So now he's actually putting combinations together and Keith Thurman in trouble. Again, Keith Thurman's trying to get that overhand right. Look at that the way he's doing it, where his chin is exposed, and then he got caught right with it. Boom. That wasn't a knockdown because he just stumbled, but it could have been.
Fundora landing more, throwing more, although Thurman is more efficient.
But I think he will have more of a success if he goes in the inside and he tries to make this an ugly fight, Thurman. Fighting in the outside right now has not worked for him. He hasn't landed any big shots, and he's just giving the opportunity for Fundora to land that left hand.
Well, Thurman's such a tradition.
After 4, I only give Keith Thurman 1 round. You got to dominate the champion and take his belt. And right now, Keith Thurman is walking into that power hand. And he can't. He's being steered too.
They're not normally customary.
And every time he walk in, he either catches an uppercut or a counter left hook, a counter left hook from Fundora. I think Keith Thurman needs to stop running and start attacking the jab. That way, you neutralize the jab, and you can pivot around to the other side. How do you do that with a taller fighter? You slap it. You slap it. You literally slap. As soon as he put it up because he's holding it away from him. Just slap it and then just move, boom, and hit that body shot. Keep moving. He's gonna see you gonna do that. He's gonna try to adjust, and then his chin gonna be open. Then you just charge at him, though. You go for it. You go for broke. You cannot let the tall guy start letting off punches, especially at short range, which is what's happening right now.
And someone with this size and the patience and the precision tonight.
You got Fundora throwing uppercuts at a landing, and Keith Thurman is allowing it. Keith Thurman is also getting hit with left hooks, and he's still walking into them. He's still walking into them. Again, when you're fighting a left-handed fighter, oh my God, he's walking right into that. He walked right into that left hook again. When you're fighting a left-handed fighter, oh my God! And now he's looking at the floor and getting caught with uppercuts. Jesus Christ, Keith Thurman is done. He's done. If this continues, look, if you're fighting a southpaw fighter, you cannot be walking towards his power punch because he's gonna hit you with it right down the middle. Boom. It's your job, for him to walk into yours and you go right down the middle. Keith Thurman is walking right into it, and credit to Fundora, he's steering him into it because he's throwing his hook. He's throwing his hook and steering him that way. Boom, and they get caught with that or an uppercut. Fundora is boxing him lovely. Keith Thurman looks tired as heck. That was the end of the 4th round, and I'm giving 1 round only, the first round, to Keith Thurman. The last 4 rounds is all Fundora. So guess what? I already know that, man, his eyes are starting to puff up. And he's winded. He looks tired. His body's not doing what his mind is telling him to do. I think this is it. This is it. If he don't show me something, I would probably stop the fight. Because there's gonna be more punishment. He's catching uppercuts, left hooks. He's catching everything. And it's because he's walking into it. He's walking into it. I didn't get that uppercut chat, but yeah, this is not good for Keith Thurman.
Back in April or October, due to Fundora's hand injury, is financially
round 5.
In fact, after the cancellation, nice.
Keith Thurman got a combination in finally.
He said he reacted poorly to the postponement, including overeating and losing discipline. He later reset physically with a 21-day raw food diet consisting mainly of fruits, nuts, and vegetables. So that's interesting to note as well, that Thurman did not take the original postponement well.
Very interesting, and Thurman landed that big right hand. It feels like a now or never moment here in round 5. Can you turn this?
Nice body shot by Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman's moving again. He got his legs under him again. I think he got his second win.
It's got to change sooner or later.
But he's getting caught with the jab now.
Coming up, half of the fight, so I mean, he's got to make those changes.
Fundora's starting to put combinations together.
Putting his punches.
He's not really connecting, but he looks good.
Very controlled, composed, focused.
Nice body shot. He getting caught with nice body shot for Fundora.
With the fire of Fundora. And Fundora smiles again. And
What is Keith Thurman doing? He's not answering back. He needs to counter.
His face has so many red blotches. It looks like a map of Oceania.
Midway point of the fifth.
You gotta watch them uppercuts.
Desperately trying to avoid the punch.
Why isn't he watching uppercuts? Fundora is throwing punches and bunches.
All over Keith Thurman.
Fundora's liking this right now. You can see it. He's throwing a lot more, feeling more comfortable.
And Thurman's face looking like it's put together like a ransom note.
Keith Thurman's getting caught with everything. Uppercuts, left hooks. He's looking at the floor.
Desperate here. You can see the fight or flight instincts kicking in. He's choosing violence, but he is wide open to be finished.
Oh, and the lunging right hand by Thurman.
I don't understand why he's not targeting the body and avoiding the uppercut.
Looking to end it before the first half of this fight is over.
He's struggling to do anything against Fundora, and he's staying away.
I've seen a few smiles out of him, but he is not overcommitting. He's sticking to the game plan in the distance.
Yeah.
Fundora stands among newly two-belt unified titleist Xander Zayas and you strap wearer Josh Kelly as champions.
You heard that thumping? That was Fundora with a right hook.
He's looming at 154 pounds, but tonight Fundora looking to make the point that he is the man to beat at 154.
He's got Keith Thurman in trouble. Keith Thurman got out of it. He barely got out of it. He caught him with a counter left hook, and then he just started throwing punches and bunches. And that's how Fundora is gonna win this fight. He's not gonna knock him out. He's just gonna flurry him, and the referee is gonna stop the fight. Especially because Thurman's face is starting to light up in color. Let's see if I can get some of that for you, chat. I mean, before he was walking into it, and now look, the referee's over in Thurman's corner. That is never a good sign when the referee's hovering around your corner and trying to hear what the conversation is like. It's never good. It's never good. Here we go. Punches all over. Thurman is not answering back, and then he's throwing haymakers. And he's walking into that power hand, and then he tries to cover up badly. Uh-oh, here we go. The doctor, I think the doctor's in the ring. I think that's the doctor in the ring.
Well, doctor comes in to inspect
Unnecessarily.
But Shawn Porter landed 27 in round 2 of their terrific welterweight title fight. Fundora just landed
Unnecessarily. The referee already set up Fundora to win. There was no reason for them to call it
This could be the round.
You have to wonder if they're going to have a short leash. The ringside doctor for Thurman here. If he doesn't mount some offense now, this fight can be stopped at any moment.
The referee's looking to stop the fight.
The evolution, although he got tagged with the left hand, but Thurman's face is a mess.
He was caught below the left eye.
Body shots, left hands, a volley of punches. Thurman is getting destroyed by Sebastian Fundora, and yet the guts and the heart of Keith Thurman on display.
It's just bad. He's still walking into the power hand.
He said he would go for broke and go for that knockout. He's standing firm. He's just not having the success.
Yeah, he's not liking getting hit, so he's trying to get away from those punches, but it's too hard.
Lit up like the stunt Sin City Strip by Fundora.
Fundora's killing him on the inside. It should be the other way around. Fundora's making nothing. He's not even going for a low blow. I mean, Fundora's crotch is right in front of him. Do something. They stopped the fight. Referee stopped the fight. I told you. That was dirty by the referee. That was dirty by the referee. Oh, but Keith Thurman's face is bloodied up. Oh my God. That's why they stopped it. He lit up his face.
24-1-1 with his 16th knockout victory.
And look at that face. That's
Fundora destroyed his face. That's what happened. The referee was hovering. I mean, the referee was hovering over man, oh my God. Let me just show you, man. Let me just show you. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Let me just show you, chat. This is. It was bad boxing. It was bad boxing by Keith Thurman. He was going for a knockout that he didn't set up. It's just it was terrible. It was terrible. I'm gonna show you his face first, so you can see what's happening. I mean, Keith Thurman's face is lit up, but like I said, once the referee is hovering around your what you call it, around your corner for no reason, he's just hanging out, listening to the conversation in between rounds. Look at his face. Keith Thurman's all bloodied up, busted up. But you could see it before the round even came that and I fought taller fighters. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can beat them. They're easy to beat. You just gotta go in and you gotta put a hurt on them and put some respect on their name. Don't let their long arms do the work from the distance because they're gonna do that. But Fundor is beating them on the outside and inside. But let me show you what was happening in between rounds that I knew it was already too late. First and foremost, let me see if I got it. First and foremost, a referee hanging out in his corner. Ain't nothing wrong at the time. I did not get it. I got the doctor coming in. And it is what it is. Sebastian Fundora won by TKO. Victory, I think, after 6. Let's hear what they got to say. I got some closing words.
You seem to be in control of this fight from the onset. Why were you able to control this fight?
We've been working very hard for this fight. You know, and I can see you.
Back to Clark Kent.
We've been working very hard for this fight. You know, Keith is, I told him right now in the corner, I always looked up to him, man. I always looked up to him. He's a great fighter, a Hall of Famer for sure. I think he's the first Hall of Famer for sure, man. You know, I just want to take my hat off for him. Well, I'll literally take off my hat, right? But, you know, all respect to Keith. That's why I had to train so hard. That's why I had to work so hard to prove to him, to prove to the world that I am the best 154.
You were so patient and you had such precision.
Thank you, man. Thanks for the love, people.
What did you concentrate that enabled you to have that precision?
Maturity. You see me grow up through this program with PBC that they provided me to fight these high-class fighters. Samson, my promoter, giving me hard fights to grow. You know, I didn't go to the Olympics. I didn't even make it to national tournaments and winning those. But you know, I continue to work. I continue to strive for the greatness, and now I'm finally here.
In the past, you've wanted to fight inside. You stayed away from that tonight. What changed your strategy?
You know, I was thinking today, like there was a quote that I read in my on Instagram that says, "Fly, fly, bird, fly." Birds use their wings; they use their whole wings to fly.
So you got some big wings.
Today I was like, let's use the whole wing today.
And so now, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I'll fight whoever, man. I'll fight whoever. There's all kinds of names. There's big names. I think 154 is the best division right now. So, you know, whoever wants it next, we can get it.
Was this easier than you expected?
It was a lot easier than I expected. You know, a little nervous today. I was a little nervous today because he's such a big name. Again, he's such a big fighter. But we got in there, and I reminded myself, as soon as we stepped into that ring, this is my world. You're in my world.
Final thought. Your family's important to you. Your dad's with you. So many times we see chaos with families in boxing. Can you just describe what it's like to have him and your family in the corner?
It's very important. You know, my father said, he always tells everybody that he was my first manager. He's my only manager as well, too. So he managed me when I was a kid. He managed me when I was a baby. He's managing me now, you know. He guided me through life, you know. My father's my best friend.
Sebastian, congratulations. Terrific performance.
Thank you so much.
All right, Morrow, back to you.
All right, guys, soft-spoken outside the ring, old-school discipline, year-round work ethic, and methodical preparation. But you take off the glasses, and we've got a different kind of Superman in the 154-pound division. Sebastian Fundora ending the fight and maintaining his hold on the gold with a punctuation mark. For Brian Campbell, Abner Mars, I'm Mauro Ranallo. That's it from ringside. We'll wrap it up from the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas right after this.
Well, there you have it. I mean, there you have it. Congratulations to Sebastian Fundora. Again, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, that if Keith Thurman didn't try to get the knockout, that he wasn't going to win because of the flurry of punches that Fundora throws. And he's an older fighter. You need to set up those punches. He was doing everything wrong that you can do. He was trying to throw that overhand right, and with no success. Look, it barely grazed Fundora. Fundora was already prepared for that because it happened to him in the past. So you have to go to the other side. But that's not what he did. Then he gets countered. This was all night. The uppercut, I kept missing it. But chat, that uppercut from Fundora is a real deal. And mind you, he got long arms. There's no reason why he could swing back up here and then bring the uppercut right up the middle when if you step back, you can see it coming from a mile away. What is going on? What is going on? Keith Thurman got schooled. And he got schooled in the art of fighting tall fighters. He should retire. They're going to keep using him as a stepping stone. The referee was no good. I mean, you don't know what the rest of the fight is going to be if the guy, but I mean, his face was busted up. So I can see the referee be like, you know what, I'm done seeing it. But look, he got. I've never seen in the middle of a fight. See, it's a 12-round fight. In the 6th round, I've never seen the referee come all the way inside the ring like that. They usually stand on the side of the apron. But the doctor all the way inside. She all the way in there. But look, I mean, his face is busted up at the time of the stoppage. So the referee saw that, but I mean, he was hovering the whole time in Keith Thurman's corner. Why are you hovering? If you hovering, you're looking to stop the fight. Boxers need to see that. Coaches need to see that. Cornermen need to see that. Keith Thurman had a terrible corner. I don't know who was advising him in the corner. Keith Thurman's corner is trash. Let me say that again. I don't know who is. If they brought him to the championship at some point in his career, good. But his corner is trash. Because why you not telling your fighter you need to move away? Look, it's basic fundamentals when you fight a southpaw from the orthodox. You do not walk into their power hand, but you're constantly walking. Oh, but he's throwing the left hook. Then you neutralize that either by catching it and shooting it or countering where you make him pay. You make him pay. He's a tall fighter. That means you need to come in with punches and bunches. But hey, we knew that from the beginning. We knew that from the beginning that Keith Thurman didn't have that kind of volume. He didn't have that kind of volume. He could have even got stopped in the 2nd round if Fundora did that early on. And then you got to look at the fighter. You got to look at your opponent. You can't be looking at the ground. You guarding yourself and you looking this and you ducking to block. To dodge. Who dodges? Who dodges looking the way? Especially on a tall fighter. You gotta look dead in his eye, look at his shoulders, and look at his hips. If you're gonna look down, you gotta look at his hips. If you're gonna look up, you gotta look at his shoulders to see what he's trying to do maneuvering. Because his head could be doing this. Mind you, Fundora's not doing that. Fundora's doing this to block. His head is right in the middle. And you can't hit him with uppercuts because you can't reach. So you gotta tear that body up. Boom, boom. Keith Thurman hit the body like twice, maybe. He got a liver too. Hit the liver. Put him down. You got to dominate the champion. Keith Thurman, what I think happened too, and this is my opinion, what I think happened is Keith Thurman weight drained himself. And boxers do that. He was fat. He said it himself. He was eating ice cream with his daughter, this, that, and the other. Who knows what he was doing to reduce weight? They said he was eating vegetables and stuff for 20 days to get back into shape. Dude, you losing nutrients. You losing nutrients. You losing your legs. Your legs don't have the right circulation and vitamin to move. You're gonna be weak. You're gonna be weak. Mr. Timothy Taylor, welcome back. Welcome back. Is Terrence Crawford the only boxer who could beat Fundora right now? Is that Terrence Crawford could beat Fundora? Is he the only one? Probably not. Probably not. Who would I look at to beat Fundora? Mendoza. Mendoza knocked him out once already. Mendoza knocked him out. Mendoza fought on the undercard of this fight. And he did okay, but he lost. But Mendoza is he lost tonight in a close fight. But Mendoza got the cheat code to beat Fundora. Mendoza. And he's a nobody. But he knows how to beat Fundora. He knocked him out. And he can knock him out again. And Fundora don't want none of that heat. Why he not giving him a rematch? He's on his undercard. He's on PBC. So yeah, Terrence Crawford might be able to beat Fundora and knock, well, maybe not knock him out, but outbox him. Because I'm pretty sure Terrence Crawford's not going to fall for that okie doke and walk right into those punches. But Mendoza's a bull. Let me show you the slides from the earlier fight. Let me see if I can get that up for you. And Mendoza, I mean, he was brawling this today. There you go, brawling right there. That's Mendoza getting an uppercut. He busted up the dude's nose early on with a headbutt. It was rough. It was a rough fight. Look, that's Mendoza again about to get hit. That's Mendoza, catching an overhand, and he's still coming forward. Look, there's a hook that he landed. That's Mendoza. That's the guy who knocked out Fundora. If I was Mendoza, I wouldn't be fighting these guys. I would try to get a rematch with Fundora and try to take his title. Why are you going to be on the undercard? Why are you going to be on the undercard? If Fundora fights tall and studly like he did tonight, he's going to be hard to beat. Yes, he is going to be hard to beat because he's going to keep you at the tip of his jab. And then, like, if you've seen, like, the cartoons or when you were a little kid and somebody holds you at a distance, by your forehead and you trying to fight, that's how you're going to look. But there's a way of doing that. There's a way of fighting tall fighters, man. Let me tell you, there's a way. I'm proof of that. I won my championship by fighting a taller fighter and a southpaw. What do you got to do? You got to neutralize that jab. You need to go around it, move your head, get out of there, and get in there with hooks. Get in there with hooks. Hard hooks. Get the referee to give him a standing 8 count. Get the referee to give him a knockdown. You got to come in there with hooks. Body shot, head shot. As soon as he covers up to the body, boom, hit him in the head. Wherever you can catch him, in the ear, in the chin, in the nose, in the neck, hit him in the neck. It's legal. Hit him in the neck. A couple of shots to the neck because you can't reach his. Hey, I'm trying to punch him in the face. I'm trying to punch him in the face. He get punched in the neck, chin tuck. That's your job. Protect yourself at all times. You got to hit him. You got to hit him. You got to hit him. And do not walk into that straight two. You walking into that straight two is a problem. And that's what Thurman was doing tonight. You walking, circling right into the power punch. Hit me. At first, Fundora was keeping his distance in the first round. That's why I get in the first round. He was staying far enough with a jab. When Fundora throw the jab, it's just a lazy jab. It's just in the air. It ain't doing nothing. But it's giving distance. It's range. It's range finding. So if that's good, all right, now I can see where he's going to throw that jab. Either slap the jab out the way, Catch and counter. Slap the jab, boom. Being that he's tall, you got to go straight to the body because you ain't going to be able to hit him in the head. If you're going to come inside, you got to have the earmuffs on because he's going to hit you with hooks and uppercuts. Fundora's great with the uppercuts on the inside. That means you got to block, boom, and counter. Because once you block that uppercut, his jaw, he got to reset. By the time he circles around, your punch is going to be on the inside if they short. He's a tall fighter. You got to, boom. Keith Thurman was trying to overhand right. He tried to overhand right. The problem is he was getting caught with that. That's the problem. He tried to overhand right. And then he's doing the what do you call it? The bow and arrow effect. You know, his arm is back here. You're reaching, bro. You ain't setting it up. Listen, if you're gonna knock somebody out, they can't see the punch coming. And Fundora was seeing that punch coming, where he would stay just far enough where you miss him. Look, he missed him. And then Fundora with the counter punch, boom, with the power hand. Because that's not a jab that he's throwing. That's the power hand. That's pivoting. He pivoting with that punch. Boom, right down the middle. Do I have a Fundora fighting dirty? No, he does fight dirty a little bit because he uses his elbows a lot. Yes, that is true. I wouldn't call him a dirty fighter. I mean, but he's using his length, and you can't complain that he drops an elbow on you. That's how he busted up Tim Tszyu over the head, was the elbow. So he's more of a weight bully. He's a heavyweight fighting at this weight class. He's a heavyweight. Why are you fighting? And he can say, well, I never gained any weight. But no, you can see when he's walking around regular, when he had that injury, he was a little heavier. He weight drains himself too. But because he got length and reach and that stuff, he's more of a weight bully. But again, that doesn't stop you from hitting him in the body. That doesn't stop you from grabbing his hands. That doesn't stop you from slapping his hand. That doesn't stop. Like Terrence Crawford's good for boxing out. Use his elbow to box you out. Give you enough room so you can hit him to the body. You can box out both his arms with your arm. But you got to be fast. You can't be slow about it. You box out both his arms, slap him up, boom, right to the body. But you got to be fast. Terrence Crawford did that to Canelo a lot of times in that last fight. That's boxing out. You box him out. You make enough space to counter or to at least throw your punch. Thurman's counter didn't have no idea how to adjust. Thurman ain't had no clue what he wanted to do once he started getting hit. He was quoting Mike Tyson the whole coming of the fight, but then he started getting hit, and then you're like, yo, what do I do now? Let me start throwing haymakers. Haymakers with no setup to a championship boxer. Are you crazy? And Fundora didn't even get hit in the chin once. That I saw. There was a graze one, I think in the fourth round, but it was nothing that phased Fundora. He didn't even stumble back or nothing. He moved forward even, and he smiled. And he was like, "Come on." He wanted to fight on it. Fundora can't see. Fundora is blind. He needs to fight on the inside. He's blind. His bifocals are like this thick. They're thick. He got a thick prescription. At the end of the fight, his sister's putting the glasses on. Oh, I can see you now. He couldn't even see the announcer who's inches away from him. So he's fighting blind. So if you're fighting a blind man, finish off the job. Hit him in the eye. Poke him in the eye. Do whatever you got to do to bring that size down and make it an even fight. But you can't be looking down and catching uppercuts. Come on, man. Have you watched any of his fights? That's like one of his basic punches. He throws uppercuts. That's what he does. Will Virgil Ortiz stay away from Fundora and wait for Zayas and Boots winner? Let me tell you, the problem with Virgil Ortiz is that he got a contract issue. He gonna be on the sideline for at least 2 years. At least 2 years. Because he signed, I think he's signed a 5-year contract. And if the promoter don't promote you and don't give you any fights to fight, doesn't put you on, he don't have to. He does not have to. I don't got nothing for him. I got nothing for him. He don't have to. Right now, he's spending De La Hoya is spending a lot of money on lawyers. I'm pretty sure he pissed. So Virgil Ortiz, he's not gonna fight Fundora. He wanted to fight Boots. And he wanted to do it for more money. He wanted to get that Turkey out of Sheik money. But let me explain something about boxing, right? Boxing, promoters got to make money off the gate, off of pay-per-views, off of merchandise sales and that kind of stuff, right? That's what promoters do. The Vince McMahons of the world, who did it great and even sold his company and made billions of dollars, he suffered a lot at the beginning. He had to make the first WrestleMania, he had to, refinance his house to pay for the fees in the garden, at Madison Square Garden. Because that's where the first WrestleMania was at. Madison Square Garden ain't cheap. Just to turn the lights on, it's going to cost you at least just to turn the lights on, you're going to have to, for the big theater, not the theater, but the big part, the main, it's going to cost you at least $500,000 just to turn on the lights. And you got to sell those tickets, and those tickets, they're not going to be cheap. Even the nosebleed's going to be $300, especially you financing it out of pocket. So a lot of these promoters, and managers in boxing today don't understand that. And then when Turkey Al Sheik got in the game, he started paying boxers whatever he felt they deserved, $30 million off the top. He gave Canelo for one fight before he even fought $150 million. Canelo was making that more than triple his salary. Because Canelo was fighting 2 times a year. He was making about $30 million promoting himself, fighting himself. $30 million. And then Turkey Al Sheik says, well, you sign a 4-fight deal with me, I'm going to give you $300 million to fight Terrence Crawford. You can have the warm-up fight, get the belt back, be undisputed again, and then, fight Terrence Crawford. And now he owes Turkey Al Sheik 2 fights. The problem right there is that Saudi is in the middle of a war that they didn't know that was coming to them. They're over there trying to, promote people to come over and visit. Ain't nobody going to visit over there if they think bombs are going to fall on their heads. So Virgil Ortiz and his manager thought they were going to be slicky boys and leave Oscar De La Hoya out of it and go with Eddie Hearns, who has a lot of money from his fights with Riyadh, that Saudi money, and he thought he was going to get paid for fighting Boots. He was trying to get that retirement money for fighting Boots. And he's not that kind of fighter. Virgil Ortiz is a good fighter, but he's not a fighter that the people who don't know boxing know his name. He's not worldwide recognized. He's not going to he's not going to fill a stadium by himself. Where Terrence Crawford now can do that, where Canelo was filling a football stadium. That football stadium wasn't filled by Terrence Crawford. That football stadium was filled by Canelo and his people. Errol Spence could fill a stadium in Texas. He might not do it anywhere else, but Errol Spence was able to fill a stadium in Texas. Those are the kind of fighters that you want on your card as a promoter. And Virgil Ortiz is not one to do that. And Virgil Ortiz, hey, good luck to you, but you're going to be sitting on the sidelines like Danny Garcia or whoever some other guys were who try to do that to Top Rank. And Top Rank benched them. By the time you come back, you're 2 years older. And if you're over there doing what Keith Thurman did and start eating ice cream with your daughter, Hey, good luck, bro. You in trouble. You in trouble. You in trouble. A turkey being over boxing with all the war stuff going on could end Zuffa boxing overnight. Hey, I don't know emoji, bro. Hey, if they depending on that money, they gotta they got some buildings to fix over there in Saudi Arabia. They got some area beautification. They they got to fix the infrastructure because they're getting bombed. They're not going to spend that money on no boxing and losing money on some company that's a startup. And the problem with Zuffa boxing is they're trying to change the law. They finally got the House of Representatives to change the Muhammad Ali Act to something that's not the Muhammad Ali Act. Muhammad Ali, spent years lobbying Congress to get that himself to protect boxers from promoters. And now they're trying to do the WWE, UFC type thing where the boxers are not going to have full transparency of what the pay-per-view numbers are and how much they could make and how much money they're bringing in. They're not going to know all that, so they're not going to know how much they're worth, and they're going to sign like Obatiah just signed a deal with them and got stripped. The sanctioning bodies are not playing. They're going to fight back because now that's called UBO, Universal Boxing Organization, which is what Zuffa and TKO is. They're gonna have UBOs all over the place. If you wanna have a boxing league, you gotta have a UBO, and eventually maybe one of those might do something, but it's not gonna be Zuffa because they don't know how to manage their prospects. They don't know how to build prospects. And Dana White, as much as he tries to be Vince McMahon, and he even got Vince McMahon's telephone number on speed dial, he is not Vince McMahon. He is not Don King. Don King is another one who is a great promoter. Regardless of all the dirty stuff and his criminal record, he was a great promoter. He made a lot of money in boxing. He put a lot of good fights together, and even his undercard fights were must see. If you didn't like the main event, the undercard was going to be like the Mike Tyson undercards were pretty good, pretty good. You knew Mike Tyson was going to have a 30-second knockout, so you're going to have to watch the co-main event because after the main event start, you blink and the fight is over and everybody going home. But people paid the money and they wanted to see that knockout. They sold merchandise. Mike Tyson at his peak, he had merchandise, games, TV shows, cartoons, you name it. He had everything. For him to be broke and still boxing in 2026, doing exhibitions for chump change, it's a little bit embarrassing, but Don King was the one who did all that. Don King did all that. So Dana White is Dana White is no Don King. Dana White is no Vince McMahon. He is no real promoter to that. And UFC, he sold it. He obviously was losing money or something. He decided, let me sell it real quick and turn a profit. But he got lucky there. Now he's managing UFC. He's a manager at UFC. He's not. He got no say so. If they come and tell him, you need to go do this, you need to go do that, he needs to say yes, sir, or you fired. I don't know what his contract is. I don't know how much stake he got left in the company. But hey, once Canelo retires, Turkey might leave boxing if he can't find someone to replace Canelo. Well, he can always try to get Terrence Crawford to unretire. Terrence Crawford still got some steam in them legs. You might be right. After Canelo retires, after this 2-fight thing happens, that's it. Turkey ain't gonna have no way to promote boxing unless Zuffa does something. And Obitaya just got stripped. Remember, people talk crap about belts. This is the thing about Zuffa Boxing, and Dana White clearly said that they weren't going to recognize any of the other sanctioning body belts. So why would you or the management for Obitaya go with Zuffa Boxing when they said they're not going to recognize the belts and you want to be undisputed champion? For somebody who don't have no real world recognition, you need belts. You need belts as much as those sanctioning fees cost and how, as bad as, because you need them to spread the word for you. Those are the organizations that are going to spread the word for you. They're the team behind the team. You got your own circle team, you got your promotion, and then you got the organizations that are going to also promote because they want to make more money too. Every fight you fight, they're going to charge you money. And the more money you make, the more they can charge. So they want you to win. They want you to win. Might they be shady with their money and mishandle it? That's their business. Once the money comes out of your pocket, going to their pocket, it's their money. What do you care? You cut out the sanctioning bodies. Now, who is the champion? Who's the world champion? Who's the undisputed champion? Zuffa belt means nothing. It means nothing. The Ring Magazine belt is a trophy. It was to identify that who was the lineal champion. But however, it was a trophy. It was a marketing tool for Ring Magazine, the magazine. Their money was selling magazine. You got to know what their core business was. Their core business was marketing. They were selling ads in their magazine. When Oscar De La Hoya bought it, he didn't know what to do with it, and it's been sitting in his portfolio all these years until he found a sucker to buy it off for him. Turkey Alishi was a sucker, but he was like, yo, you know what? It's a name. We're not selling magazines anymore. Nobody buys magazines anymore. But I can use it as a propaganda tool. It gives him legitimacy. The Ring Magazine said this about X fighter. The Ring Magazine said this about that. Now they got a propaganda tool to entice boxing, enthusiasts into believing what they're saying. They'll be making up their own rankings, Ring Magazine rankings, and they'll be putting anybody on there that's on their own roster or who they favor. Like the guy who beat what's his name? He knocked out Canelo knocked him down. Berlanga, the guy who beat Berlanga. That's a Saudi dude. If you ever saw him, Saudi love him. They're trying to make him the biggest thing in boxing, so they're gonna put him in the rankings. Yes, he beat Berlanga, but Berlanga ain't never been a champion. Berlanga ain't beat nobody. The biggest thing on his record is he lost to Canelo. And Canelo picked him out of the woodwork instead of fighting somebody who actually had boxing skills. Oh, but I had a knockout record. You was fighting trash bucket heads who had no boxing skills and guys who came out of jail after 20 years and they needed the money, and so they jumped in the ring with you. You knocked them out, and then you got, oh, well, I'm a great knockout artist. But then when you fight somebody who actually can fight back, you get knocked out. So there's a lot of stuff in boxing going on right now, especially with these new new belts. The Muhammad Ali Act is going to get rid of all these interim belts if it gets passed, which it will get passed. Excuse me, it will get past the Senate, and Donald Trump already is ready to sign it as soon as it is at his desk. And Dana White, with his connections, they're going to pass the new law. They need to take Muhammad Ali's name off of it because it's a whole different act. But hey, it is what it is. The PBC belt didn't work, and neither will the Zuffa belt. Yeah, exactly. The PBC, when they first came out, they had their own belt, and Keith Thurman won it. And Keith Thurman was the one who won it. So hey, you're right. You're right. The thing is, there's too many belts. There's too many belts already. Every time something happens, the WBC is always creating a new belt. They're creating a new belt for the David Benavidez versus Suda Ramirez coming up. Why are you creating a belt? Your belt is not even up for the challenge. The only reason you're there is because David Benavidez is a champion at a lower weight class, and he holds your title, which you forced him to take because you didn't want him to fight Canelo. That's what the WBC did. Yes, Mauricio Suleiman, I'm calling you out. Mauricio Suleiman, I'm calling you out. You didn't let David Benavidez have his fight with Canelo, using the WBC, the We Back Canelo, Trump. So you forced David Benavidez to move up in weight class because you ain't have no champion up there. And he took the light heavyweight belt. Now you bumping him up to cruiserweight, and he's gonna beat Suda Ramirez. I don't see anywhere in anything that Suda Ramirez is going to have the skills to beat David Benavidez. So I'm looking for David Benavidez to become a 3-division champion here shortly. And I'm covering that fight. So hit the like button, subscribe. Help the channel out. The channel hit over 2,000 subscribers recently. Let's keep that momentum going. Share this video. Talk to your friends. If they like boxing, this is the place to be so we can talk about it. But with that said, Mr. Tim Taylor, thank you for your participation and always supporting the channel. Shout out to you. Shout out to those other people who I'm going to leave out, not named. But hit the like button, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to be notified when the next fight comes up and we're broadcasting live. With that said, thank you for the privilege of your time. Remember to keep your hands up, chin tucked, and eyes open, and protect yourselves at all times, baby.